Good afternoon, social media. Man, oh man, how good it feels to be back. Another week in the books and another awesome day of the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find on social media. Why? Because it is everybody's favorite day, that day being Friday, baby. There's so much going on. Obviously, Friday Night SmackDown that's going to be leading up to the ultimate party of the summer, and that is SummerSlam. We got a lot to talk about, and man, oh man, I cannot wait to get into it. So, it's time for the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find on social media. And at the end of the episode, you will know whose game this is, with everybody saying, "No Mercy Sports." Yeah!
Nobody can stop me now.
Let me talk to you. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. And this is a very special episode. Why? Because this is the 50th episode ever since I've started this uncensored, unfiltered, and uncut sports talk show that you could find on social media. Now, I do have another channel that you could look at, but this channel is the one that I use most often for when I'm going live. So, if you want to be able to subscribe to this channel, be sure to click the link in the description of this video and smash that like and subscribe button to not only YouTube, but also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever it is. No matter the social media platform, you're going to find me there. And speaking of link in the description, all you got to do is click the link in the description of this video to get some awesome Reaper apparel merchandise, baby. They have some awesome stuff. Let me talk to you about it. I mean, I've got this hoodie. Oh, man. There's not enough words to say that, look, if I wasn't in Texas and I was up north where wearing a hoodie would be required, man, oh, man, would this baby make you feel warm. But let's talk about some other stuff right now, because we got a few things that are really worth discussing. The second half of the MLB draws near as the All-Star game is right around the corner. Now, for certain teams, it's been quite the surprise to see how good a season that they've been having. Looking your way, Washington. Hell, even looking your way, Oakland. My God, I didn't even think that you were going to have 30 wins this season. Like, I really thought that the Oakland A's were going to have one of, if not the worst record in all of baseball. But somehow they've been a surprising team. Anyways, getting off track here. Once the All-Star break comes to an end and we jump into the second season, what are some predictions that certain teams should be living up to? Well, you know what? One of the teams that I see that should be living up to the expectations that they should have been from the start is the New York Yankees. They are, in their last 30 games, they don't even have 10 fucking wins! I mean, come on, Yankees. Are you trying to show how big of a choke artist you are? Or are you trying to show that you deserve that 28th World Series championship, for crying out loud? Another team that I think could really make an impact going into the second half of the season is probably the LA Dodgers. I mean, they have not one, not two, but three. Count them, three former MVPs on that team. And on top of that, they got arguably the most notably signed overseas pitcher being Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And man, they are up there in the standings, and it's not even close. Phillies, Philadelphia, just keep doing what you're doing. You're the first team to 60 wins going into the All-Star break right now, and it shows why you deserve this World Series right now. And I mean, their roster is just fully stacked. They got Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Alec Boehm. We're going to get to that dude in a minute because he is competing in the 2024 Home Run Derby with barely over 10 home runs on the season. Huh? Anyways, give me a second here. Give me a second. Oh, I should have got my standings. All right, so the Baltimore Orioles. Y'all got to do something if you want to stay in first place in the AL East. This comes as no surprise. Why? Because myself, along with a few other people, y'all know who they are, we really predicted that the AL East was really going to come down to the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. But somehow, some way, the Boston Red Sox have found their way back into some kind of contention in the AL East. They are 51-41 right now, and they have gone 8-2 in their last 10 games. Man, keep your eyes on the Boston Red Sox. Tampa Bay Rays and Toronto Blue Jays, they're basically fighting for 4th/last place. Let's move on to the AL Central going into the second half of the MLB season. We got the Cleveland Guardians. They've been on a mediocre streak as of late. Yes, they're 57-35, but they are 5-5 in their last 10 games. Now, right behind them, 4.5 games out of first place of the AL Central is the Minnesota Twins, currently sitting at 53-40, and they have gone 7-3 in their last 10 games. Man, oh man, keep your eyes on Minnesota. But the one team in the AL Central that I got my eyes on are the Kansas City Royals. Yes, they are 51-43. Yes, they're 5-5 in their last 10 games. But they are on a 3-win win streak. Bobby Witt Jr. is competing in the Home Run Derby. Vinny Pasquantino is just an stud. Salvador Perez, being the veteran that he is, making sure that these young kids are led in the right fucking direction. I mean, come on. The Kansas City Royals are a sleeper team right now, and it wouldn't surprise me if they snuck into the AL playoffs and actually made somewhat of a run. Next team up in the AL Central, we got the Detroit Tigers. I mean, I'm not really too surprised with their record of 45-49. Yeah, they're 13 games back, but in their last 10 games, they are 7-3. They're definitely making a lot of progress compared to last season. But I'll tell you a team that isn't making a lot of progress compared to last season, the Chicago White Sox. No faith in this team whatsoever. They are 27-68, and ever since 2021, they have been on a deeper downslope than the roller coaster ride, the Raging Bull. If you know the roller coaster ride, you know the roller coaster ride. Why? Because the Chicago White Sox playing out suck this season. They are 31.5 games back of first place, and they are 3-7 in their last 10 games. I've got no faith in the Chicago White Sox going into the second half of this season. Now, if by some crazy fucking reason the Chicago White Sox find themselves in a 500 spot, then, hey, you know what? Good for them. They actually did something right for once. But let's move on to the AL West, shall we? We got the AL West leading Seattle Mariners. Now, quite frankly, I'm not too surprised that the Mariners are leading the AL West. Yes, they are sitting at 52 wins and 43 losses, but they are currently 5-5 in their last 10 games. That's really not good a deal for the Mariners, especially when you have a team like the Houston Astros who have been sucking for the first quarter of the season, but finally found a rhythm and have gone 7-3 in their last 10 games and find themselves 2 games out of the first place spot in the AL West. Man, oh man, as soon as the second half of the season starts, keep your eyes on the Houston Astros because these guys could make a run and overtake first place in the AL West. Next up, we got the Texas Rangers. Next up, we got the reigning, defending World Series champions, Texas Rangers. What the fuck are y'all doing? 44-49, and you're 7 games back of first place in the AL West. Yeah, you've gone 7-3 in your last 10 games, but I tell you what, you shouldn't be off to this kind of start the first half of the fucking season. Y'all better get your heads out of your asses. Better find something to do that'll put some runs on the board and get you into first place of the AL West and first place in the American League so you can actually cruise to another World Series championship. Otherwise, you're going to be a bigger one-hit wonder than the 2018 Philadelphia fucking Eagles. We got some football talk along the way, but right now we are talking about baseball right now. Oh, the Angels. Where do I begin? You know what? I'm not too surprised that y'all are 38-55, especially 2-8 in your last 10 games. Mike Trout, the fuck were you thinking of re-signing with the Angels and saying, hey, you know what? I want to retire an Angel. I want to do this. I want to do that. You're trying to win a World Series championship, aren't you? You're arguably the best player in the league, aren't you? What the fuck are you doing, my guy? You have a better chance to win a World Series with not only the New York Yankees, but also the Philadelphia Phillies, who we're going to get to in a bit. You have a better chance of winning a World Series with one of those two teams than you would the LA Angels. They are wasting your talent, and you need to get the fuck up out of there. You are arguably, if not the best hitter in baseball right now, and your talent is being wasted by the fucking Angels. Even Shohei Ohtani got the message when he was there. And he was like, you know what? I'm not going to win with the Angels. I'll go to the Dodgers. Now, granted, the Dodgers really aren't going to win anything anytime soon because all they know how to do is fucking choke in the playoffs. And if you don't believe me, just look at the series that they had against the Arizona Diamondbacks last year. They got fucking swept. But that's neither here nor there. Angels, y'all ain't doing shit this year. I ain't got no fucking faith in you fucking ever. Now, let's move on to a team that surprisingly, yeah, they're 35-60. They're 5-5 in their last 10 games, but there is some serious potential there. The Oakland Athletics, Jesus, I swear to God, the owner of this team just needs to sell the team already. Why? Because the Oakland A's have been sucking for so freaking long. It's just unreal. I guarantee you, under better ownership, the Oakland A's not only would stay in Oakland, but at the same time would have a better record than 35-60. But I'm kind of surprised that they have a record of 35-60. I really thought that they would have essentially the same record that the Chicago White Sox would have. If anything, a record that the Miami Marlins would have. It's crazy, though. It's crazy. I mean, they have some serious talent. They got Blade. They got Mason Miller. They got some guys that can really carry this team into the future. But the owner's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to shit the bed while I do it. But, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is, though. Oakland, they're moving to Las Vegas. They're going to be the second professional team that Las Vegas gets. Obviously, the other team being the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to get to them in a bit. But for now, let's move on to the National League. There are quite a few teams that need to be talked about going into the second half of the season. Now, don't get me wrong. We are going to talk about the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game itself. And man, oh man, are we going to talk about the All-Star Game as well? Because why the fuck the All-Star jerseys look the way that they do is seriously fucking beyond me. They look ugly as fucking hell. They look ugly as fucking Biden, if I'm being honest. Oh, God. Anyways, but let's talk about the National League right now. The best team in the National League right now, the Philadelphia Phillies, with a record of 61-32, 7-3 in their last 10 games. If this isn't the best team that comes out of the National League, I don't know who the fuck will be. I mean, hell, you got the you got the Milwaukee Brewers, you got the LA Dodgers. Well, I really have no faith in the Dodgers. Why? Because, again, they fucking choke when it matters most. If you don't believe me, look at their playoff history since 2013. Hell, 2012 if you want to go that far back. They choke. They have some of the best talent on their team, and they fucking choke in the playoffs. They choked twice in back-to-back World Series. We're going to get to them in a bit. Anyways, moving on down the line, we got the Atlanta Braves. I am surprised. Seriously, like no words to describe how surprised I am by how good the Atlanta Braves are still staying in somewhat contention in the NL East, and they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. They are 9.5 games back. They are 5-5 in their last 10, but they're still within shouting distance of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, you know what? Hey, it's better the Atlanta Braves are within shouting distance of the Philadelphia Phillies than a team like, I don't know, the New York Mets, a team who 2 out of the last 3 years had 100 and plus days in first place in the NL East, only to choke it the fuck away to, you guessed it, the Atlanta Braves. But look, I have more faith in the Atlanta Braves making somewhat of a run in the come playoff time than the fucking Mets do. That's just my opinion on the Mets. I'm not trying to be biased because I am a Yankees fan. But Mets, y'all ain't doing shit in the second half. And if by some ungodly reason y'all actually do something, maybe I'll be impressed. Keyword, maybe. But let's talk about a team that has been sneaky. Like, they are making a very good progressive step forward this season. We got the Washington Nationals. There are some serious prospects on that team that you need to look out for. One of which, if I'm not mistaken, being CJ Abrams. Man, that dude, it could potentially carry the Washington Nationals to some great heights. They have some, now the Nationals do have some great other prospects. I'm gonna get back to y'all on that, but for right now, I'm really surprised at like the first half of the season for the Washington Nationals. I really thought that they would essentially be tied with the Miami Marlins for last place in the NL East. Like, yeah, they've gone 3-7 in their last 10 games, but something is there for the Nationals. Something is definitely there. Now, speaking of the Miami Marlins, guys, what the fuck? Y'all make the wild card. Y'all had a stacked roster that could have carried you for the next 5 to 10 years. And you got rid of the female that brought in said talent. And we're like, hey, you know what? We can take it over from here. Now look where it got you. 32 wins, 61 losses, 2-8 in your last 10 games in your 29 games back of first place of the Philadelphia fucking Phillies. Bring in the fucking female that was bringing in some serious talent for you guys and actually made you playoff contenders. Well, what the fuck do I know, huh? Anyways, so let's move on to the NL Central. The Milwaukee Brewers, 54-40. They are currently sitting at first place, and unfortunately, they are 4-6 in their last 10 games. Milwaukee, you're going to have to step up and play some serious baseball because this next team behind you could overtake first place, and it wouldn't surprise me. That team being the St. Louis Cardinals. They are currently 4 games over 500 right now. Now, I'm just speaking at this kind of tone so my wife doesn't hear me. I've always had respect for the St. Louis Cardinals, mostly when they had Albert Pujols, Jim Edmonds, J.D. Drew. I mean, the list goes on. But right now they got like Lars Nootbaar, they got Dolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. They have a serious core that they can work with. Now they're really starting to find their rhythm, and they are currently 5 games back of first place behind the Milwaukee Brewers, and in their last 10, yes, they've lost 2 games in a row right now, but in their last 10, they are currently sitting at 6-4. Now, a good buddy once told me, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I honestly think that the St. Louis Cardinals could finish in first place in the NL Central over the Milwaukee Brewers, because this is a team that has some serious playoff experience. They have World Series championships to back it up as well. 11 or 12, if I'm not mistaken, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the St. Louis Cardinals going into the second half of the season overtake the Milwaukee Brewers in first place. But with a lot of first place teams, there's a lot of dark horses that are looming in the shadows. And right now in the NL Central, there's currently 3. We got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have a serious generational pitcher talent being Paul Skeens. This dude nearly pitched a no-hitter, but I mean, what was it? It was the 7th or 8th inning, and Paul Skeens had 99 pitches on his pitch count, and the Pirates decided to pull him. The second the Pirates pulled him, Milwaukee got a hit. But that's okay. That's okay, because aside from Paul Skeens, the Pirates also have another great pitcher, in my opinion, that pitcher obviously being Jared Jones. They have 2 great pitchers that can easily carry this team to some very great heights right now. Yes, the Pittsburgh Pirates are currently sitting at 45-48, but they're only 8.5 games back. We still have 80-plus games to go after next week. And hell, even the Pittsburgh Pirates are 5-5 in their last 10 fucking games. So I'm not surprised that the Pittsburgh Pirates are actually on this level. right now. I mean, it was talked about that, yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to get Paul Skeens, but he's going to be a great addition for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and it's not even going to be close. So it wouldn't surprise me going into next season. I know we're on this season, but going into next season, Paul Skeens and Jared Jones take the Pirates to some new and serious heights that they have never seen before since their playoff picture against the Cincinnati Reds when Johnny Cueto was the starting pitcher and Russell Martin hit a home run off of him. I believe it was a wild card. If you are a Pittsburgh Pirates fan or a Cincinnati Reds fan, if you know, you know. Speaking of the Cincinnati Reds, let's talk about them for a sec. Now, I kind of had some high hopes. I'm not entirely sure, but I had some really good hopes for the Cincinnati Reds, mostly because Ellie De La Cruz just bursted onto the scene. And man, oh man, was this kid doing something? He still is doing something. Now, yes, the Cincinnati Reds find themselves at 45-49, 9 games back of first place in the NL Central, but they have also gone 6-4 in their last 10 games. Like I said, as a good buddy once told me, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Speaking of finishing, Chicago. Let me fucking talk to you. I had some great hopes for y'all this season, all right? Yes, y'all have won 6 out of your last 7 fucking games. Whoop-de friggin' do! And yes, Shota Imanaga, your starting pitcher, is currently the pitcher, or an all-star pitcher, if I might add. Whoop-de friggin' do! Y'all should be in the same place where the St. Louis Cardinals are instead of sitting at 45-49. Just, y'all have the talent. Y'all have somewhat of the pitching. Y'all just need to put some more runs on the fucking board. Get your heads out of your asses and play the Chicago Cubs offense that I have seen from 2015 up until 2021, when you guys decided to trade away your big 3 core of Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and Javier Baez. Play some fucking offense. Jesus, Mary and friggin' Joseph. Whew. All right, let's move on to the NL West, though, shall we? We got the LA Dodgers that are currently, let's see here. We got the LA Dodgers that are currently closing out the top 5 teams with a record of 55-39. However, they are currently 3-7 in their last 10 games. What the fuck, guys? Y'all really spent over $1 billion in the offseason to get Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And on top of that, you have Freddie Freeman and you have Mookie Betts, but you have a record of 55 wins and 39 losses to show for it? Huh? No. Y'all should not be at this type of level. Y'all should be way the fuck above the Philadelphia Phillies right now. But oh my God. I mean, yes, you have I can't even talk right now because of like the offseason that the LA Dodgers have had just to have 59 wins and 39 losses. You know who else has 55 wins and 39 losses? The New York fucking Yankees! They're 3-7 in the last 10 games, and so are y'all. I swear to God, when it comes playoff time, I have more faith in the New York Yankees than I do you, LA Dodgers. Why? Because your history of choking in the playoffs speaks for itself. This is not an insult towards the LA Dodgers. This is just a fact of life. Yeah, huh? I said this is just a fact of life for the LA Dodgers. Go back to 2012, 2013, and look at their playoff history. And the numbers don't lie, and their history speaks for its fucking self. Okay. Now, up next in the NL West, we got the San Diego Padres, who are currently 4-6 in their last 10, but somehow they're 2 games over 500 and 7 games back of the LA Dodgers. I really don't have any faith in the Padres really doing anything if they do get to the playoffs. But I'll tell you one team who I got my eyes on, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the current NL champs. Yes, they're currently sitting at a record of 47-47. They are currently 8 games back, but they are 6-4 in their last 10. And like I said, it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. And right now, the Diamondbacks, man, they're doing something right going into the All-Star break right now. And they need whatever they're doing, they need to keep it up. That's all they need to do. Another team that I could really see being a dark horse, especially in the NL West, the San Francisco Giants. They are currently 5-5 in their last 10 games. They are sitting at a record of 45-49, but they are also sitting 10 games back of the LA Dodgers. So it really wouldn't surprise me if if the final 3 standings in the NL West was the LA Dodgers, San Francisco Giants, and Arizona Diamondbacks. It really wouldn't surprise me. There is a lot of talent in the NL West. Well, I mean, if you're just excluding the Colorado Rockies, they barely have over 30 wins, but they have over 60 losses. Where am I, Philly? You're going to have to elaborate more on that, Big Ten. Are you talking about where I'm originally from? Because if you're talking about where I'm originally from New Jersey. And if you don't hear it when I talk, well, that's on you. The Cubs are 9 games out of first place. I believe they will play better. Yeah, I could really see that too. And hey, like one of my buddies told me, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And for a lot of teams, surprisingly, there's there's a lot going on. Like, they really have some serious potential to make a deep playoff run if they get their shit together after the All-Star break. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about baseball. But for right now, I talked about this last week. I discussed this with one of my good buddies, Mr. Spicy Big Mac. Big shout out, baby. Hope you're doing well, and I can't wait to see you back here on the show sometime soon. But with football season on the horizon, I mean, hell, we are a month and a half away from college football kicking off. But speaking of college football, I'm going to be doing a trend leading up to kickoff for both college football and the NFL. Now, last week I started with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas Jayhawks. And you know what? It just got me thinking, hey, why not go? There's 4 teams per 3 divisions in both the NFC and the AFC. why not, leading up to the NFL season, go team by team per segment and talk about their expectations going into this upcoming season. And I thought, hey, that's actually a good idea. So one of the most hyped teams that were coming into this season, or going into last season, I'm sorry. One of the most hyped teams going into last season was the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, they had a great start, getting wins over TCU, Colorado State, but unfortunately, they got fucking decimated by Oregon. Why? Because the Oregon coach said it best himself. Hey, we're out for wins. They're out for click wins. And it showed in that game. Now, I believe they finished 4-8, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments what their final record was last year. But let's talk about the Colorado Buffaloes going into this season. Actually, you know what? We're going to get into the Colorado Buffaloes season prediction in a bit. But for right now, next week. Oh, God, I'm chomping at the bits just by saying this. Next fucking week, July 15th, if I'm not mistaken, July 16th, college football 2025 will be released across all the PlayStation, maybe even the computer, even Xbox. College football 2025 is on the horizon, and I honestly cannot wait. Why? Because the last college football game that came out was NCAA College Football 2014. And if you know what? Let's put it this way. If you know who was on the cover of NCAA College Football 2014, if you know who was on the cover of College Football 2014, let it be known in the comments, and I will let you know if you are right or you're wrong, because I already know who was on the cover of that video game. Unfortunately, that would be the last time that we would see NCAA college football, but now if you're a video game head like myself, man, I'll tell you what. When college football 2025 drops, there are going to be a lot, I mean a lot, of guys that become single. Why? Because, man, we have waited 11 fucking years for a new college football game. And I've seen some of the gameplay. It looks awesome. Anyways, you know what? I'm getting off track here. But speaking of college football 2025, look, I get it. Shedeur Sanders is the son of Deion Sanders. But a big shout out to TikTok content creator Polka Dot. Look him up. Poke_A_.DOLT. This man knows some serious college football. And he was even talking about the fact that Shedeur Sanders somehow, some way, is the best player in college football 2025. Well, God, I mean, it's hard to agree with that. But it's not about what you do off the field. It's about what you do on the field. Now, let's get into Colorado's schedule right now. North Dakota State, who is essentially Alabama in the FBS, or is it FCS? Regardless, whatever. Shit. What's the word I'm looking for? Conference, league, something like that. North Dakota State has been dominant in what they do. And Colorado welcomes them. This is going to be August 29th at 6 p.m. on ESPN. This is going to be a game to watch. North Dakota State, welcome to the NCAA football tier of a lot of things. But I really think Colorado walks away with the win. Next, they go into Nebraska. Let's take a look at Nebraska, actually. Let's see what they did last year. Really? Fucking really? All right. Well, you know what? Nebraska really hasn't had a good track record of putting up any winning records. So I'm going to say that Colorado also gets the win over Nebraska. They go into Colorado State. Now, last year, Colorado State visited them. There was a lot of what looks like cheap shots from Colorado State towards Colorado. But I think the Buffaloes get it done against the Rams, and they go into Baylor undefeated 3-0. Now, Baylor, they're always a slept-on type of team. So I think Baylor gets the win. So next game up, we got Colorado at University Central Florida. Colorado currently sitting at 3-1. You know what? I'm going to say this. They go into Arizona sitting at 500 because I think they lose to Central Florida, and I also think that they lose to Kansas State. Now, Arizona, they really haven't been known to be like a good football team. They're mostly known for being a college basketball team. If I made a mistake on that, let me know in the comments. But Colorado goes into Arizona, and they walk out of Arizona with a win. So they are currently sitting at 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So they currently sit at 4-2 when they welcome Cincinnati. Well, you know what? They are going to be 5-2 when they go into Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech, they've always been that kind of team that has been slept on. And you know what? I think they continue to get slept on, and I think Texas Tech walks away with the win. So Buffalo welcoming Utah is currently 5-3. Well, guess what? They're going to be 5-4. They're going to be 5-5 when they go into Kansas, and I think they're going to finish off the season 5-6 when they welcome Oklahoma State. That is my take on the Colorado Buffaloes for the 2024 season. Look, I get it. Deion Sanders is a head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. His son, Shedeur Sanders, is the quarterback under center, and Travis Hunter is the dude leading the defense. But yes, I have the Colorado Buffaloes at 5-6 this season, but we will see what happens going into this season. We can only make predictions. What the teams do on the field is up to them. But speaking of Colorado, we got a different Colorado team that we're going to talk about. Now, like I said, we're going to make some college football predictions, and we're going to make some NFL predictions with the state that coincides with the team. Who's the team that plays in Colorado? The Buffaloes. What's the capital of Colorado? Denver. Who plays in Denver? The Denver Broncos. Let's go over their season, shall we? Anyways, so September 8th, they go into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. They lose that game. The week after that, they welcome the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what? I think they get it done against Pittsburgh. They go in after that. They go into Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. I mean, Tampa, they made a sneaky run last year. And you know what? I think Tampa gets it done. So right now, I got Broncos losing to Seattle, winning against Pittsburgh, and losing against the Buccaneers. So they're currently sitting at 1-2. But guess what? They about to be 1-3. Actually, you know what? 2-2. When they go into New York, when they go into New Jersey, because if you know, you know. Anyways, they're going to be 2-2 when they take a win over the New York Jets. Oh my God. Fucking Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback for the New York Jets. Yeah, and his fucking season last year lasted literally 4 fucking plays before. I mean, I got no faith in Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets whatsoever. Anyways, next game up, the Broncos are currently sitting at 2-2 when they take on the Raiders. Man, you know what? No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry when I say this. Why? Because Antonio Pierce really stepped up and showed why he should be the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. This dude was winning football games with Aiden O'Connell under center. I'll say that again. Aiden O'Connell under center, and Davante Adams was their best receiver. So I think the Raiders get it done. I also think that the Chargers get it done against the Broncos. So let's see, so they go into New Orleans 2-4. They come out of New Orleans 2-5. They welcome the Carolina Panthers. They're 3-5. They go into Baltimore and Kansas City. They're 3-7. They welcome the Falcons. That should be that's going to be a tough game, but ultimately, I think the Broncos get it done. I think they go into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders with a record of 4-7. And guess what? The Raiders get the season sweep over the Denver Broncos. They are 4-8 when they welcome the Cleveland Browns. Guess what? They're 4-9. Why? Because Myles Garrett is leading that defense, and the Browns defense is fucking ugly on so many levels right now. Oh, wrong tab. Anyways, now they welcome the Colts. They go 5-9, mostly because Anthony Richardson is on his he's coming off an injury type of season, and he's going into the season fully healthy. I mean, I got high hopes for this kid. Just, you know what? We'll look over the Colts schedule in the next few weeks. For right now, I got some serious high hopes for Anthony Richardson. But for right now, I think Denver gets the job done against Indianapolis. Next game up, they go into LA to take on the Chargers. You know what? I think the Broncos get it done. They get a win, and then they lose to Cincinnati, and then they lose to Kansas City. I've never been good with numbers. I ain't even going to lie about that. I've never been good with numbers. So I kind of lost track of what the Broncos record was going into the game against Cincinnati. But, they don't have a very productive season. They might have a tough season, but they're not going to have a productive one. But we've already talked about the Denver Broncos and Colorado Buffaloes. We've already talked about some of the teams that really need to step up going into the second half of this season. But We are going to take our first commercial break, and we will be back in less than a minute.
Icy Breeze is the world's first portable air conditioner and cooler. A premium ice cooler that doubles as an eco-friendly portable air conditioner. This is not a swamp cooler, just blowing air across ice. Over 60 parts and components allow Icy Breeze to achieve what no other product in the world can do. The secret behind the Icy Breeze is an innovative design that circulates chilled ice water through a heat exchanger in the lid, replacing the Freon used in most ACs. Fresh air is drawn from hidden vents in the top of the cooler, pulled across the exchanger, and chilled down to 35 degrees cooler than the outside air. A 3-speed fan control delivers Icy Breeze's dry, cold air up to 25 miles per hour, just like a car AC. And a stay-put flex hose directs the breeze in any direction. Wherever you need it, Icy Breeze helps you beat the heat.
I'll tell you what, if you are a major tailgate fan and obviously you're going into the end of summer, beginning of fall, look, it's still warm in the beginning of fall, all right? But you're going to need something like that. Now, speaking of fall, it is the best time of the year, and it's not even close. Why? Because we still have college football and NFL football. And one of the other teams we're going to talk about is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas Rebels. Why? Because you'll know why soon enough after we get done talking about their schedule. Now, UNLV goes into Houston to take on the Cougars. Well, you know what? Houston is going to be getting the win over you guys. Next game up, the Rebels welcome Utah Tech. That's definitely a bounce back kind of game that the Rebels need to go into Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. The Jayhawks are definitely, in my opinion, going to be a team that gets slept on this season. So, unfortunately, sorry, Rebels, y'all are going to welcome Fresno State being 1-2. But y'all get the win over Fresno State. Now, Syracuse had a winning season of 6-7. So, you know what? I'm going to have to go with Syracuse over the Rebels. So, let's see. Lose, win, lose, win, lose. So, I got the Rebels currently sitting at 500 right now as they go into Utah State. I haven't really seen much of Utah State. I don't know how good their football program is. But then again, I don't know how good the Rebels football program is. So I'm going to have to go with my gut and say Utah State. From Oregon, or between Oregon and Boise State, they also lose as well. The Rebels get the win over Hawaii. They get the win over San Diego State, and they also get the win over San Jose State before taking a loss to Nevada. So Jesus. All right. I'm sorry that I got to do this. All right. So let's see. Lose, win, lose, win, lose. Lose, 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 win, win, win. Or 0-1, 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 2-6, 2-6, 3-6, 4-6, 5-6. You know what? I think the Rebels finished 5-7 on the season. Now, why did I bring up the UNLV Rebels? Well, it's quite simple, dear Watson, because we are going to go through the entire AFC West. And one of the teams in the AFC West is the Las Vegas Raiders, who had a very, very, I can't even begin to describe it, surprising type of season last year, especially when Antonio Pierce took over as the head coach. So, without further ado, let's get things started for the Las Vegas Raiders. They, honestly, they finished last season 8-9, but they had some serious swag when they were doing it. Anyways, let's get into their season, shall we? Look, LA Chargers, y'all do what you need to do, but I mean, so long as Max Crosby is on the front line for the Raiders defensive front, I mean, come on. Imagine if they still had Khalil Mack. It would be a decimating win for the Raiders, but for right now, with Max Crosby leading the way for the Raiders defensive line, and on top of that, whoever the quarterback might be, whether it is, oh my God, what's his name? Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell. Man, these guys are about to have some fun. Why? Because they got Brock Bowers from tight end from Georgia, and they got a running back in that backfield. So, man, I'm not trying to stay biased, but I will say this. When the Raiders go into Baltimore to take on the Ravens are walking out of that game with a win. So the Raiders are currently sitting at 1-1. They welcome the Carolina Panthers. They are currently 2-1. A lot of things going on with the Cleveland Browns, especially with Deshaun Watson as the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. But I'll tell you what, defense is one thing, but also so is offense. And from what I saw last season, it looked like Deshaun Watson didn't do a damn thing. Didn't look like he was trying to even put in effort to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe this is what I need to do going into next season. Maybe this is what I shouldn't do going into next season. So this might be a defensive-heavy game, but I'm going to take the Raiders. So they are currently at 3-1 when they go into Denver. They're going to be 4-1. Yeah, they're going to be 4-1 when they beat Denver. I'm sorry. Yep. They're going to be 4-1 when they beat Denver. You know what? They're going to be 5-1 when they beat Pittsburgh. Let's say the Raiders go 6-1 when they go into LA to take on the Rams. They now become 6-2 when they lose to the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I know it is what it is, but the Chiefs are currently the reigning defending Super Bowl champions. And yeah, as long as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are the QB coach tandem, who's beating them anytime soon? Anyways, 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. Okay, so they go into Cincinnati sitting at 6-2, and I think they walk out of Cincinnati 6-3. They go into Miami. They go 7-3. They welcome back Denver. They go 8-3. They go back to Kansas City. They go 8-4. Tampa, as much as I want to root for y'all, but I think the Raiders go 9-4 when they get the win over y'all. They go 10-4 after a win over Atlanta. They go 11-4 after a win, or actually, you know what? 11-5 over when they lose to Jacksonville. 12-5 and 13-5 when they finish their season on a 2-game win streak, getting the win over the New Orleans Saints and the LA Chargers. Now, honestly, I'm excited for the Las Vegas Raiders season. They have the head coach. They have they might have the quarterback with Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. They have Brock Bowers. They have Devontae Adams. They have Max Crosby. They have a lot of key players that could really lead them to a winning season this year. But we're just going to have to see how things go when the product is really put onto the field. All right. We're going to be taking our final commercial break. And when we get back, we are going to be doing Name That MLB Player, the Home Run Derby predictions, and the All-Star Game predictions. We will see you in a bit.
Boy, that's mediocre.
Then what the f are you doing?
I was drinking that.
No, you were surviving it. Give excitement a try with Bones Coffee. Click on the link below to order some for yourself. Here. Whoa is right. That substance you were sipping before is what we in the industry refer to as ass water. Sure, it technically has caffeine, but at Bones Coffee, we believe in the experience of waking up every morning looking forward to that first tasty cup. That's why we roast carefully selected beans in small batches to perfection, so you can count on quality in every cup. And not only that, Bones has a ton of fabulous flavors from which to choose.
Greg! Did someone mention flavors? Highland Greg, pleasure to meet you.
What'll it be, Greg?
You know, I've been hankering for the spiced rum flavor of Highland Grove, please.
Greg, I'm surprised by the size of your bagpipe.
Ugh, it's not the size of the bagpipe that matters, laddie.
Yeah, it's how hard you blow it.
Yeah, let's leave the talking to me.
Oh, gee, I just got back from chasing some hosers out of the grilling rink. I could go for some maple bacon coffee right about noon.
Coming right up.
Hey kid, you single?
Yeah.
That's why this place looks like
Here you are, my salty siren.
Thanks. I need the salted caramel chocolate pick-me-up after dealing with this loser.
How in the world are all these people getting in here?
We just walked in. Click on the link below to stop drinking water and get yourself Bones Coffee today. Or maybe you don't want to click on the link below because you think, flavored coffee's not for me. That was Sarah G's experience. She says, usually flavored coffees taste chemically to me, but these do not. They have a really pleasant aroma and flavor. They do not leave that weird residue on the bottom of your mug like many flavored coffees do. And Cheryl S. says, I ordered this for my son's GF for a B-day. She loves it. Why, Cheryl, that's awfully nice of you. Unfortunately, they broke up and I can't return it. Frowny face. Well, that's awkward. At least she liked it, though. Stop settling for mediocrity and order Bones Coffee today.
Yes, man. Oh, man. I cannot wait to... Man, look, I'm a coffee lover, and I would love nothing more than to try and taste Bones Coffee. All right? But look, it is that time of the week where I describe a baseball player based on their career path, and it's y'all's job to figure out the player that I am talking about. So without any further ado, let's get into the segment. Now, this player got his career started in Seattle, being the first overall pick in 1987, but wouldn't make his major league debut until 1989. He would have a very successful 10 years in Seattle before being traded to the Reds and signing a 9-year, $112 million contract. His time in Cincinnati would be a roller coaster ride, as he would still be successful, but would also be bitten by the injury bug every now and again. Nevertheless, in 2005, that wouldn't stop him from being named Comeback Player of the Year, and in 2006 would also hit his career home run number 537, passing Micky Mantle. Moving on, though, in July of 2008, he would move on. He would be on the move once again, as he would be traded from the Reds to the White Sox. during the MLB Trade Deadline. His time in Chicago would be short-lived as he would only spend the rest of the 2008 season with the Chicago White Sox. Now, even when the 2008 season ended and he was asked about retiring, he stated, "I've still got things to do." Now, that is a great response when it comes to talk about retiring. Anyways, now he would go into the 2008 offseason as a free agent with two teams looking to sign him. One would be the Atlanta Braves, while the other would be a familiar face. However, in February of 2009, he accepted a contract offer with Seattle after agonizing over the decision. He would go on to spend the 2009 season and part of the 2010 season with the Seattle Mariners before calling it a career at the end of May in 2010. If you know who this player is, let it be known in the comments. Let it be known in the comments, all right? But right now, we got some home run derby predictions to fucking make right now. Now, jeez, I'm so unprepared right now. Give me a second. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm fucking human. Jesus. I'm a fucking robot. Okay. Fucking pop-up ads. All right. So, we got the home run. We got some home run, we got the home run derby predictions that we need to make right here, right freaking now. Now, the participants in the 2024 home run derby are Pete Alonso, who's looking. I am so sorry. Anyways, we got Pete Alonso, who is in his fifth home run derby competition, looking to win his third championship. Pete, you might want to look at the mirror because you have 18 home runs, my guy. Why the fuck Alec Bohm is even in the home run derby right now is kind of beyond me, because last I checked, he has 11, maybe 12 fucking home runs. Now, next up, we got Adolis Garcia, who has a. Anyways, next up, we have Adolis Garcia, who has 17 home runs on the season. After him, we got Gunnar Henderson, who is in the top 3 of league-leading home runs with 27. After that, we got Teoscar Hernandez, who has 12 home runs 12. Wow. Teoscar Hernandez, who has 19 home runs on the season. After that, we got Marcell Ozuna, who has 24 home runs on the season. After Marcell Ozuna, we got Jose Ramirez, who is behind Marcell Ozuna with 23 home runs. And last but not least, we got Anyways, last but not least, we got Bobby Witt Jr., who has 15 home runs on the season. Now, again, Pete Alonso is making his 5th appearance in the home run derby and is looking to win his 3rd championship since competing in the home run derby. Pete, I don't like the team you play for, but you know I love you. So you're out. Alec Boehm, you're easily out. Adolis Garcia, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually made some noise. Why? Because last October was yours to conquer. So you move on to the next round. Gunnar Henderson, it wouldn't surprise me if you moved on to the next round. Teoscar Hernandez, I've never really seen you as a power hitter. Maybe during your time in Seattle, but I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something when I see your highlights with the LA Dodgers. So you might be a dark horse. Marcell Ozuna, I could really see it coming down between Gunnar Henderson and Ozuna. Jose Ramirez, we'll see what happens. But for right now, my final four, I got Gunnar Henderson, Marcell Ozuna, Teoscar Hernandez, and Bobby Witt Jr. So to win things, I'm going to take a shot in the dark, and I am going to say Marcell Ozuna. But let's move on, shall we? We got the All-Star game. Sorry. I'm trying to like really get a grasp on things of like, oh, hey, yeah, you know, back in the day, baseball players were actually allowed to wear their uniforms. Now it's like, oh, you're going to conform to what we put out there. It just kind of blows my mind. But let's make a prediction for the 2024 All-Star game. Hang on. Of course. All right. So right now, all right, here we go. All right. So let's go over the National League lineup for the All-Star game. So for the National League, we got the elected starters. Behind the plate, we got William Contreras, brother of Wilson Contreras. At first base, we got Bryce Harper. Second base, we got Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Third base, we got Alec Boehm of the Philadelphia Phillies. And right behind him, we got another Phillies player at shortstop being Trey Turner. In the outfield, we got Jurickson Profar of the San Diego Padres making his first All-Star appearance. Next up, right behind him, another San Diego Padres player making his second All-Star appearance being Fernando Tatis Jr. Closing out the outfield, we got this player making his third playoff appearance being Christian Yelich. And at DH, representing the LA Dodgers, making his fourth playoff appearance is Shohei Ohtani. Now, these are the starters for the National League. Let's move on to the American League, shall we? Behind the plate, representing the Baltimore Orioles, making his second All-Star game appearance, Adley Rutschman. At first base, representing the Toronto Blue Jays, making his fourth All-Star game appearance, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. This man is a veteran when it comes to representing the Houston Astros, making his ninth All-Star game appearance, Jose Altuve. At third base, representing the Cleveland Indians. Yeah, that's right. I said the Cleveland Indians. Fucking fight me. Anyways, representing the Cleveland Indians, making his sixth All-Star game appearance, Jose Ramirez. Man, this is Orioles. Y'all got something going with this young talent. At shortstop, representing the Baltimore Orioles, making his first All-Star game appearance, Gunnar Henderson. Now, yes, I said Marcell Ozuna might walk out of the home run derby, the champion, but I really think that Gunnar Henderson might also walk out of the home run derby, the champion. Anyways, in the outfield, representing the New York Yankees, making his 6th All-Star game appearance. All rise, baby, for the Judge, Little Aaron Judge. The only reason I say Little Aaron is because a buddy of mine who was my best man at my wedding babysat Aaron Judge went way back in the day when Judge was still living in the Bay Area of California. Anyways, next up, still in the outfield, representing the Cleveland Indians, making his first All-Star game appearance, Stephen Kwan. Best of luck to you, my guy. And to close out the outfield, making his 4th All-Star game appearance, representing the New York Yankees, Juan Soto. And at DH4, the American League, representing the Houston Astros, making his 3rd All-Star game appearance, Yordan Alvarez. I mean, look, both teams are currently stacked right now, but if I had to go with any team right now, I'm probably going to have to go with the American League. I think the American League will get it done. They will find a way to get it done. They do have some pitching that can really take them deep into the game, but so does the NL. But look, when it comes to the All-Star break, it's all about having fun. But at least baseball actually keeps them competitive and doesn't say, I don't know, put up 30 runs a game or 30 runs in the All-Star game as compared to putting up nearly 400 points in the All-Star game. Look at your way, NBA! Y'all need to fucking do something about that shit. Anyways, so all in all, I got the American League beating the National League in the All-Star game, and it is definitely going to be one to watch. Be sure to check me out next week, or next Friday, when you tune in for the most uncut, unfiltered, and uncensored sports talk show you will find on social media. And again, at the end of the day, you will know whose game this is, with everybody saying, "No Mercy Sports." Aside from that, you can also catch me as a co-host on the show College Sports Villain, hosted by one Mr. Andrew Anderson. We have a lot of fun on that show, and man, oh man, I cannot wait for next week because it is sure to be a certified banger as always. Again, be sure to click the link in the description of this video if you want some awesome Reaper Apparel merchandise. There is so much more to look at with Reaper Apparel, obviously, other than hoodies. Be sure to check it out, and be sure to use code NOMERCYSPORTS10 for 10% off your entire purchase. I will see y'all next week. Peace out.